everyone, it's Paige. Welcome back to my channel. Today is finally the video where I unbox and haul all the books that I showed you me purchasing in my last book shopping video. If you haven't seen that video, then it is like a fun precursor to this video, so go ahead and click the link here. So I bought 11 total books through Book Outlet, Barnes & Noble online, and Amazon. And I'm going to show you those books today, and then after I'm done unboxing those books, if you stay tuned to the end of this video, there is a surprise waiting. I've been working on a secret project with one of Troy's best friends in the entire world to deliver something important to him. He doesn't know what's going on whatsoever, so he thinks that the package that we are going to open up at the end of this video is from a subscriber of mine for me. So stay tuned. So the first two books I'm going to show you are the books that I bought from Amazon. My reasoning behind buying these two books, first of all, one of them was the cheapest on Amazon, and the other book that I got on Amazon was Gemina, the second book in the Illuminae Files series by Amy Kaufman and J. Kristoff. So I binge read Illuminae a week ago, and I ordered this on Amazon so that I could get it very quickly. This is actually the book that came in last, so I have only gotten a few pages in since I got it. If you are unfamiliar with the Illuminae series, it is a YA sci-fi series. It's written in a very unique format, so not only is all the dialogue introduced to you through like chat logs, because these people are, you know, in the future and they're on ships and everything, but there are also like different posters that you get to see and maps, so there's just like a lot of fun content in these books. I am not a big sci-fi reader typically, so I didn't really reach for this right away, or Illuminae right away, and I'm very, like, I don't know why I didn't, because it's a great series. I finished it so quickly, and that's why I'm just so desperate to get to this book, so that's why I ordered this on Amazon. So for a short synopsis on the first book, Illuminae, it follows two young teens, Ezra and Katie, whose home planet is attacked, and they escape on this like military spaceship, and they're trying to flee from the attackers, but a virus breaks out and there's a wild AI involved, and there's just all kinds of elements that really make this book, and I enjoyed it immensely. So actually, if you are a fan of the Dead Space video game series, this book series actually reminds me of that a lot, not just because, you know, it's sci-fi, but the added element of the virus and just how everything is conveyed. It just kind of reminded me of that a lot, and I already liked that video game series, so it's really no wonder that I like this. The second book I got from Amazon was Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin. I've had my eye on this book for a while. I mean, the cover is really gorgeous, but I've just heard so many great reviews of it that I finally decided to pick it up. This is a YA fantasy romance about a witch and a witch hunter who get married. Yeah, I don't really know anything apart from that. That's my synopsis of this book. Sounds pretty interesting to me. I already like witches generally in fantasy stories. Like, I'm a big sucker for covens and witches and hiding and all of that, all those themes, so I'm sure I'll like this, and I've heard so many of you tell me that I'll like it, so I'm excited to start it. So on to the boxes. You know, it's pretty simple. They just give you a little Barnes & Noble card that has nothing on it, and then you get advertisements, which is pretty typical of when you order Barnes & Noble online. So Grove, Geico, yeah, just various other things. There's a wine voucher in there, so if I ever need a pick-me-up. So the first book I'll show you in this box is Dune by Frank Herbert. This is the first book in the Dune Chronicles series, which is a sci-fi series. Actually, in looking this up to give you a short synopsis, I've discovered that apparently they're making a Dune movie that's starring Timothée Chalamet, Jason Momoa, Oscar Isaac, and a bunch of other really big names. So that's really interesting to know. I'm glad that I found that out. So all I'll say is that this follows a boy who is the heir to a noble family, and he is kind of growing up to rule a world that is ruled by drugs of some sort. I think the drug is called spice, and then something happens, and the book goes on. The only thing I'm a little disappointed about is the fact that this copy is so small. I think I actually have seen this before in Barnes & Noble, so I guess I'm not that surprised, but It might hurt my eyes a little bit because the pages are, you know, it's not like a normal size book. Like a normal size book would probably be about here, and this is like the pocket size version. But I like the cover enough that, you know, I'll just deal with it, and hopefully my eyes don't like burn out of my head from reading this. So the next book I want to show you, I'm very excited about because I've been wanting this book forever, and that is My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. First of all, let's just recognize that the cover of this book is so cool. It's meant to look very vintage, like 80s, like horror movie. And speaking of, this is a young adult supernatural horror, which I think is what Grady Hendrix is mostly known for. He writes a lot of horror. I have had my eye on this book forever. I'm a big lover of horror flicks. I always have been. Even when I was a little kid, I've always loved horror movies. This book is basically about two best friends, Abby and Gretchen, in the 1980s. They go swimming one day, and the next day, Gretchen begins to act differently. So she becomes like moody and irritable. This actually kind of reminds me of Jennifer's Body, which I've talked about before. I love the movie and the book adaptation of the movie. Basically, I think I know I'm going to love this book, which means that I think after I'm finished with the Illuminae trilogy, I might move on to this, honestly, because I need those summer horror vibes. So the fifth book I have to show you is The Lies of Locke Lamora by Scott Lynch. Again, another book I have been wanting for years and years. I actually heard about this book from Sam from Thoughts on Tomes. She talks about this book a lot because she loves the series, and this is the first book in the Gentleman Bastard series. This is a fantasy series about a band of thieves described to be almost like Robin Hood, and that's really all I know. The synopsis is pretty vague in that way. The only thing I'll say again is that, you know, this is a very small copy of the book, and it's gonna hurt my eyes, I'm sure, to read it, but I'm willing to take and sacrifice my eyes for this book. I've heard great things about it. So the last book I got from Barnes & Noble was Recursion by Blake Crouch. I mentioned this in that book shopping video, but I have read Dark Matter by Blake Crouch, and it's probably my favorite sci-fi novel. Granted, I don't read that much sci-fi again, but it's a great book. It's definitely a thought-provoking book, but I have been feeling sci-fi a lot lately, even before I read Illuminae, and I was suggested this book by him. The synopsis makes it sound like it's about this world where reality is broken, the fabric of time is in danger, and people are going crazy because of it. What does that mean? Why is reality broken? Why is time in danger? I don't know, but like I said, I could really go for some more sci-fi. Oh, it's cold. Okay, so this book is significantly larger, actually. It's probably two of the not this book, I said book. This box is significantly larger, and this is from Book Outlet. It comes with this packing. I appreciate their dedication to safety of the books, but no advertisements like Barnes & Noble, which doesn't surprise me since Barnes & Noble is like huge. If you watched that book shopping video, Book Outlet was the place where I got a bunch of really great deals. So all of these books were really great deals. Most of these are no more than $7. And as far as I can tell, the reason why they are $7 is because they're overstock books. So kind of like the way that Ollie's sells books, they buy books that stores have overstocked, they buy those books and then they sell them back for like way less. This kind of seems like the same idea because there are like little marks on the ends to symbolize that they have been put on mega sale. And also one of these books is actually from Target. The Target sticker is still on it. So I guess I'll show you that book first, and that is Obsidio, which is the last book in the Illuminae Files series. So basically I have deeply committed to the Illuminae Files series. I have every intention on finishing it. I didn't realize when I bought this that actually this is a hardback, whereas the other two in the series that I have are paperback. Doesn't really bother me that much. Probably if I had known, I would have ordered the paperback just so they all matched, but oh well, now I have a hardback for the last book in the series. And as you can see, this was from Target. So Target probably put this on sale, and then maybe Book Outlet bought it from them, and that's why it was on sale. Super sale. But anyway, this is The Bride Test by Helen Hoang. This is the second book in the Kiss Quotient series, which is a adult romance series. I loved the first book, so heartwarming, so cute and beautiful, and I love it so much. And even though this book does not follow the same characters, you know, I had to give it a shot. Considering how well she wrote the first book, of course I have to give this a shot. This book kind of runs in a similar vein to the first book in that the protagonist, Kai, has autism, and because he feels like he has no inclination for romantic relationships, he avoids them. But his mother does not agree with that, so she ends up going to Vietnam to find him a mail-order bride. So she returns home with a girl named Esme Tran, and this mail-order bride now has the task of seducing her new husband. So it's kind of an interesting concept. I honestly don't know if it can beat the Kiss Quotient for me, but I think it'll be a nice summer read, so I'm pretty excited for it. The next book I got, another book that I've been wanting for a while that gives me great summer ghost story vibes, is the Saturday Night Ghost Club by Craig Davidson. This is a young adult horror mystery novel about a group of kids who spend a summer investigating local ghost stories and urban legends. Sounds like a great time for me. So this is set during the 1980s, like My Best Friend's Exorcism, which might make it fun to read those back to back. Although I think this one is a little more fun than My Best Friend's Exorcism. It's compared to Stranger Things, which I do enjoy a lot, but I am hoping that this is a little bit more, you know, scary or thrilling than Stranger Things. So the next book I'm going to show you, I actually made a little bit of a boo-boo on. I didn't mean to buy this book, but now I have it. And that is Red Queen by Christina Henry. I had intended to buy the first book in this series, which is the Alice Chronicles, and the first book is Alice. And I looked up Alice by Christina Henry. This came up. I was busy talking to the camera, so I just put it in the cart and bought it. This is the sequel to that book, which means that I don't really want to read the synopsis of this book because that'll probably spoil me for something. The point of this series, however, is that this is a dark horror retelling of Alice in Wonderland. Growing up, I've always loved Alice in Wonderland and the darker retellings of her story. So for example, growing up, I used to love the American Mickey horror video games based on Alice in Wonderland. If you haven't heard of those games, even if you're not like a gamer and you like Alice in Wonderland or even just horror, I highly recommend them. And I also think that I will love this series because of those games. So I already have an inclination to like them. The second to the last book I'm about to show you, I actually don't show this in the video because when I was about to place my order for Book Outlet, I saw that I was only like $5 away from getting free shipping. So of course I bought this book because it was like $5 something. So, you know, I got the free shipping and I got another book. So I got Omens by Kelley Armstrong. If you're new to my channel, I love Kelley Armstrong. I've loved Kelley Armstrong since I was a preteen, and I've actually already read this book, but I believe I rented it from the library. And because I had rented it from the library, I never finished the series, so I read the first book, and I actually loved the first book, but then I never picked up the rest. So the intention is I buy this book, I reread it, and then I continue on with the series. This is a adult urban fantasy, almost like magical realism book about a girl named Olivia who grows up, you know, living kind of the high life. She goes to an Ivy League school and she has everything she's ever wanted, but then one day she finds out she's adopted and that her biological parents were condemned to a life in prison because they are notorious serial killers. This discovery leads her to a town called Gainesville, which is a town full of like old European superstition and mythology and weird urban legends, and it's just like a crazy sort of supernatural town where things are happening beneath the surface that you kind of glimpse, but at the same time they could be not happening at all and you could be crazy. That's why I said it's kind of like a magical realism situation. You're following a girl who hasn't grown up there, so she's kind of like an outsider to this like weird cultish sort of town that's cool but also bizarre, and it's a really great book, and I'm actually really looking forward to rereading it, and hopefully this time I finish the series. And the last book I'm going to show you is The Paper Menagerie and Other Stories by Ken Liu. And this is a collection of fantasy and science fiction short stories. Like I said in that video, I have just really liked short stories recently. I've been reading 2 books of short stories, and they're just nice to pick up when I'm feeling a certain way. I pick them up, I read a story, I put it back down, and then like maybe I'll come back to it in a couple days, but there's no pressure to do so because there's no like story waiting for me or anything, and it's just like a new experience every time. So I would love to add this to my short story collection. Hopefully I like it. Nobody I know personally has read this, but if you have read this, feel free to let me know what you thought of it. The only thing about short story collections is that sometimes they can kind of go over my head a little bit, just because authors, when they're given the short story format, they kind of, you know, obviously they leave out of a lot of details, and they kind of leave it up to you to figure out the symbolism or the metaphor or whatever of a story, which sometimes goes over my head because things are just so out there that I'm just like lost in space. So I hope that that's not the case for this book, but considering how well received and how loved it is, I'm assuming it's like a nice mixture of bizarre and also relatable, but we'll see. So now I'm gonna open this subscriber mail. I can't remember the girl's name who sent it. From Angela McMurphy. She kind of hinted what was inside. I think it's a book, but you know, it's gonna be a surprise to all of us. So I need a scissor. I need a scissor. Ow.
Yeah. Feel free to find a scissor.
Right.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
So this is the new blonde Troy, who is going to assist me in unboxing Angela's gift.
You just kind of boom.
Okay, it is a box. That looks very suspicious.
A box? Within a box. It's upside down, however. Let us see. Let us see. Oh my.
Whoa. Oh no.
This is very interesting. Tea. Tea.
Go ahead.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Wait. Is this? Oh, dude. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Wow. Okay. Wait a second. Wait. Okay. Watermelon Sour Patch. That's my thing. That's my flow. Hold on a second. Wow. This is very suspicious. A razor. Awesome. Deodorant. And you're sure? You're absolutely sure this is from your subscriber?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I was keeping it a surprise from you.
Oh my gosh. Gillette foam. Oh my gosh. And Mickey. King Mickey. King Mickey. Hold on. King Mickey. Hold on. It's not focusing. Oh my gosh. I'm smiling so. Thank you so much right now. Oh my gosh. All right. I knew I had fans. All right. I want to be so delicate. Oh, I don't want to. Oh. It's beautiful. Thank you so much. I'm not looking at the camera. Hello.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is so kind. I have a beautiful card. All right. All right. This isn't part of your... Oh my gosh. You're so lame. How did you... Oh my gosh. Wow.
Go ahead.
It is time. Will you be a part of my groomsmen? It's time to freshen up, so enjoy your sweets.
Here.
Oh, what? What is going on? What sort of chaos is happening right now? Everyone's casually like, yeah, Troy, you gotta be part of this unboxing for some reason. I'm like, okay. Whatever that means. Should I show? Should I?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, is this actually gonna be a thing? That is my best friend Angel right there. He's my best bud. My answer is no. No, I'm just kidding. No, dude, yeah. Heck yeah, dude. Dude, I started getting real suspicious when I saw like razor stuff and like Sour I was like, wait a second. I was like, this person knows a little too much about me. What's happening right now?
Awesome.
You did that real well. You were just like, you were texting me a couple minutes ago.
Yeah, on purpose. Well, I mean, we always text.
You were just chatting with me. You were like, look at my haircut. I'm like, oh, nice.
Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed that fun little bit. I enjoyed it quite a lot, and I'm sure Troy and Angel did too, or aka Angela. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you don't already follow me on Instagram, Goodreads, and Twitter, go ahead and follow me there. Anyway, I hope you are having a good week, and I will see you very, very soon. Bye!